Hello everyone, so in this video we will be talking about the SUB250 WhoopFly16. Hopefully you can see it. This is the WhoopFly16 and this is a pusher drone. In a good way. Pusher meaning the props and the motor is inverted so that there's nothing blocking the path of the air. Unlike this type of whoop wherein you have the regular one, as you can see here, the way it works is that this propeller sucks up and push the drone upward, but there is some part of the frame that blocks the path of the air. But if you do it in a pusher type configuration and the air goes downward, literally there is nothing that blocks the air. So in theory it would be more stable to fly this types of drone, and most of the whoop or the Cinewhoops is configured in that way. This WhoopFly16 will be with a similar configuration, but this is a 1.6 inch or 70 millimeter propeller. Am I correct? Hopefully I am. Let's go. So this is the WhoopFly16 made by SUB250. SUB250 recently have a lot of products that are really good. Probably get the freestyle version of this one probably later down the road, but they have made a similar approach with I think the Cetus Pro, wherein they have a custom made frame and canopy, unlike the Happy model that uses this type of frame similar to the Meteor, if I'm not mistaken. And most of the tiny whoops have this kind of frame, and it's a breath of fresh air that they use a different one and a custom made one. Okay, so this is the WhoopFly16. Actually, this is the HDZero version. The camera would be the nano light camera. The VTX is HDZero, and it already has a receiver, and it is an ELRS SPI. But for a very light drone, I think the SPI would be enough. And if I'm not mistaken, it's already in version 3 of ELRS, but I'll try to look at it later on this video, probably. I hope I still remember it. Let's open up this bad boy here. Before we discuss this drone, let's look at the other things. Okay, so you have this HDZero connector, and this is used for updating your VTX. You have some extra propeller. It has a different propeller compared with the regular whoops. Let's try to look at it later on. You have some extra prop guards here. You can either have the blue or the red one, but for me, I'll try to use the regular neon. Is this neon blue? I think that is neon blue. I think it looks good. And you have some extra tape for the propeller guard. Okay, you also have some screwdriver. You have some manuals here. Okay, let's look at the manual. I think SUB250 is good by giving this over so that you don't need to look into their website just to check. Okay, so this is how the flight controller is soldered. You also have a detailed user manual if you really want to download. This would be a start manual, so you can browse them in if you need to. First impression, it's really good. I like how it was designed. I like this hard case. It's matte finish. It looks better than a glossy one. Also, everything is well protected. As you can see, there are no openings here on the canopy. The only opening part is this one, wherein the battery is here to protect everything also. Okay, what else? I haven't seen any. I don't see any opening for the HDZero update port. But I like how it is designed, that there are some vents here so that every time you fly, the part of the VTX is cooled down, because as we all know, HDZero really heats up when running. Okay, let's look at the bottom part. There, it is a stack of the flight controller and the HDZero at the bottom part. I like how the motor is just plug and play. Instead of soldering, I'm more inclined on using this because it's really difficult to solder motors, especially with this one. This is the Mobito 6. It's quite difficult to resolder once there is a problem with the motor. So yeah, I like the plug and play type. Let's look at the propeller. It's quite different with how this, but it's similar to an electric fan. Meanwhile, this one, it's more edgy and it's more curved. Probably there is a difference in how they fly if you use this kind of propeller. Okay, so let's look at the motor. It's 1002 SUB250 with a 21,000 kV motor. So this is quite powerful compared with this one. I believe this is just 19,000 kVs. So it's quite small. It's the Happy Model EX0802. If you want to access the VTX, really, you have to remove this top part, then remove all the screws before you can access the VTX. For the walk snail, they leave a port for this one wherein you can poke it so you can bind your VTX. Unfortunately for the HDZero, there are none. Hopefully on the second version of this, they can put probably an opening so that it would be easier to access the VTX upgrade port. Okay. What else? Oh, they use a GNB27 port here, which is why I upgraded all of my 530 mAh GNB to a GNB27. Also, this Happy Mod, I upgraded it to a GNB27. I made a video about how to upgrade your port on a different video. You can check them out if you want to. Another thing that I would probably upgrade or replace is this antenna from the HDZero, because I find a good performance boost from the ORT antenna, so I'll probably replace that with that one. Okay, so we have flown this WhoopFly16 and it is quite a good experience so far. But the problem is my HDZero uh, goggles is not displaying correctly because I think the firmware of the VTX is quite different for this one. So what I need to do is I need to update the VTX. I need to remove 4 of these screws and probably remove 4 of this motor port so I have access to the flight controller and ultimately have access to the VTX. This is one of the oversight for this frame, but because I believe that this was really designed for analog, but since it's quite good, they have SUB250 probably used the HD VTX later down the road because it's readily available right now. Okay, so for this one we will try to remove 4 of these screws. Try not to lose them because I don't know what the size of this, but yeah, I think this would be an easy removal. 3 and oops, I already said to take care and I already lost one. Okay, so I lost one screw already. Murphy's Law, things happen. Okay, so we remove 4 of the screws now, and then we will be able to remove this holder here. Okay, so this is part of the frame. As you can see here, we still have no access to the VTX firmware port, so we have to pull this motor ports. Oops. We remove all of the motor screws. Let's use this tweezer. See if we can lift. We lifted it up so you can see here. Okay, so we removed it. There you go. I was able to see it. Let's do an update from the goggles. It's quite an easy one. I will not show it in this video. Hello everyone, so this would be our last 2 flights for the WhoopFly16 of SUB250. Hopefully you can hear me clearly this time. I'm having problems with the recording. As you can see, the flight is quite good for very tiny. It's like a very small Cinewhoop. can fly really good. Let's see. Let's try this one. Where can we go? Let's see. The core temperature is getting really hot. 70 degrees. I just updated the VTX last night, and then suddenly I'm having this problem with the core temperature getting really high. Since we're moving, I think we're able to manage that temperature. I hope you can hear the WhoopFly here trying to run next to me. There you go. So it's not that loud. Okay. It's getting too hot, 75 degrees. So if we're not moving, the drone gets really hot. Now we're reaching 75 degrees Celsius. Okay. That's my dog. Are we getting... No, not yet. Okay, let's try to go down. It's getting really hot. Okay, so that's our first flight. 3 minutes. Okay, so this will be our second flight. Hopefully this is a correct one. Okay, so hopefully you're hearing my audio. Let's go. Let's try to slow down. Oops. Core temperature is getting really high, 8 degrees. It's quite hot. Okay. So you really need to move quite quickly so that the air would lower down the temperature. But I believe there's something that needs to be done on the, probably on the frame, but yeah, let's try it later on. But I really like how it flies. It's really good. See? Oopsie. I really like the HDZero goggles. It's really good. The HDZero goggle here. What have I done? It hit my face. Let's do another run. So we still got 3.40 volts. Let's try to run more. It hit my face. It's not. It's quite. It's not that painful, but. That's quite fun.
Okay. We're lower down 3.4. See if we can see this spot here. Yeah, we can. Okay, that's nice. That's nice. I like it. Okay. Whoa, that was good. I like how it flies. It's really, it really has a good tuning. I don't want to. I want to spoil this and destroy this drone, but it's quite good. Even there is wind, I can feel it actually. It's still stable, and oh, land now. Okay.
So we have finished flying the SUB250 WhoopFly16, and so far our experience is really good. The tuning of this drone is quite impressive, and I was able to fly it very stably while I was cruising around in our place. I will notice those core temperature problems, and I have checked with Ryan Quillet of HDZero and even with Josh Bardwell that those are not an issue. Because as we have discussed earlier, this is a good frame and a canopy, and as it was designed in this manner, the heat coming from the HDZero VTX accumulates here on this part of the canopy, and it builds up. The air coming from this hole helps to lower down the temperature of the VTX. It is a good design decision by SUB250 so that the air will pass through the bottom part of the frame. Since the flight controller is underneath the VTX, the warm air coming from the VTX do come into contact with the flight controller, which is why it has that core temperature warning. But according to Joshua Bardwell, we just need to disable it. And since you are flying the drone, there is air coming in and out of this frame or canopy. You don't have to worry about that increase in temperature because it is just normal. If you will compare it with this Happy model, this is an open canopy, so which is why you don't see those kind of warnings or error, because fresh air do come into contact with the VTX and the flight controller. But since this is an open design, it is prone to breakage or damage when you hit something, hit a branch. Meanwhile, this is a good protected canopy, and I am more inclined on using something like this because I do crash a lot, and as we all know, flight controllers and even the VTX of HDZero is quite expensive, so it's better to protect them at all costs. Okay. I think I have a suggestion with SUB250. Hopefully they do hear me out on this one. This could probably help that temperature to not build up inside of this canopy, probably by putting some holes here. Let's hope you can see it. Probably remove this part of the holder, because this is already have a tape here, a wire tape. So probably we can remove this part so that there's a hole, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that when the propeller do spin, it will put some air going inside of the canopy, or probably put some vents here so that the passive air coming, the active air coming from the propeller will help lower down that temperature so that it will not build up. Probably they can look into it when they do some testing, but those are just my suggestions. And so far, if you do experience a very high temp, probably more than 80 degrees, just fly it quickly and the temperature will lower down to probably 70 degrees Celsius. Also, even though this is a pusher type drone, it's quite agile, similarly with my Moblite 7 HDZero. Both are HDZero. The only difference would be I think the placement of the ELRS antenna here. This is the ELRS. I think the battery is blocking the ELRS signal. So most likely, or most probably, I'll put something probably here, a hole here, so that I can put that antenna somewhere here. Because sometimes I do lose a signal when I do a turn, so probably the battery is blocking the ELRS. As long as I have a line of sight, I was able to control this quite gracefully, and I was really surprised when I entered those trees. I was able to see it, and at the same time I was able to maneuver around quickly, or even just cruising around. This is quite impressive. I was really surprised. And again, this is quite a good beginner drone. You can do this, you can fly this indoor without much problem. The propeller guard will help you not to destroy anything at your home. The motor is big enough to lift this canopy and this frame. Probably on my next video, I'll put an Insta360 Go2 on top of this. Hopefully this can lift that one. If it does, I will be more than happy to do the test. SUB250 really made a good design choice for making this WhoopFly16, because it's really tough, and it can fly really well. Even though this is a pusher type drone, you can do a lot of things such as acrobatics. That's what probably on my next video we will test this and do some flips and rolls somewhere that is a bit a wider area than my place here. But nevertheless, this is really a good beginner drone. You will not regret getting this one, because sometimes when companies do try to innovate, it has to start somewhere, and I think this is a good start. So, hope to see you on the next one. Happy flying. See you around. Bye-bye.